Hi, this is Deborah Daniels from Skyway Visuals, and today I'm just going to be giving you guys a quick overview of how to edit the new Blender Modern Typography Slideshow project. So, if you haven't got the project yet, you can get it through the Gumroad link in the description below. So once you open the project, you should be able to see this fairly well organized layout here. And the part you want to pay attention to is at the bottom left of the screen. So basically, to replace the media you see here, which is this image, you want to select Media 1 at the bottom left of the screen here. You want to left click on it. Then, in this section of the screen here, you want to click this folder. And then just direct Blender to wherever your image is on your computer. So just pull this down. You can select Documents, Desktop, just as long as you direct Blender to the file. And you can double click on the file, or you can left click on it and then click Open Image. So now we've replaced that image. So I'm going to choose a different image. Let's choose this one here. So you can just double click and then you can fast forward along the timeline by left clicking and dragging. And then you can actually either select Media 2 in the bottom left of the screen here, or you can right click on the object and you can click this folder here and you can just choose another photo. So let's double click on this one. And if the scaling of your image seems a little bit off, you can actually go into the texture settings here, scroll through, and you can adjust the X and Y scaling. Alright, so clicking through the timeline here, you can see we've got our two replaced images here as well as the other placeholders. So now that we've learned how to replace the images and fix up the scaling in the images, now let's see how to edit the text objects. So let's right click on this object here, our text object. And if we collapse the media drop down in the bottom left of the screen here, you can actually see the text layers drop down. So this basically lists most of the text layers in the scene. So you can select them by either left clicking on the specific text object in the outliner down here, or you can right click on the text object that you see on the screen. So let's type Tab to go into text edit mode. Let's erase this text, and basically you can just type your text and just Tab on your keyboard, and that'll exit text edit mode. So if you left click on this text object here, this is one of the lower text objects basically for credits. So now that we have that selected, we can type Tab, erase the text, and just type your custom text and then type Tab to exit text edit mode. And then you can repeat the process for the next credit text. And then you can type Tab to exit text edit mode. So let's fast forward along the timeline here. And you can see with our next text object, it can get a little bit tricky. So let's right click on this text object here, which is text 2 in the outliner. So you can left click on it in the outliner down here as well. And we can edit this text by typing Tab, going into text edit mode and erasing the text. And let's just type custom text. And you can see that it kind of stretches outside the boundaries of the white box we've got here. So let's type Tab to exit text edit mode. And what we can actually do is we can scroll down here in the top right of the screen, and we can adjust the scaling, so the size of the text object here. So you can reduce this to make it stay within the boundaries of the box. So let me just replace the image texture here by right clicking on this image here so that we can see what we're trying to achieve a little bit better. So let's just select this image. Okay, so we can adjust that scaling a little bit. So we can leave that at 1, or just increase it just a little bit. Alright. So you can see now that the text is in the boundaries of the white box here. So let's click through the timeline, make sure it doesn't overstretch at any point in the animation. Let's right click back on this text object to select it. You can actually right click to cancel the movement just in case you're accidentally moving it around there. And you can reduce the size of the text. So that should be a good size. And you can click through the timeline just to make sure. And it seems to be good. Alright, so now that we've learned how to basically edit the images and text, let's see how to replace the font. And yeah, let's get into the top right of the screen here. And if you scroll through this section, you can see font. Alright, and in the first box here, you want to click the folder and just direct Blender to wherever a font file is on your computer. So font files are usually OTFs or TTFs, and once you've found your font file, you can select it or double click on it. So let's double click on Chivo Black. And what you want to do is let's fast forward to a frame after the end frame. So our end frame is 552. So let's click this here and enter 553. Enter. And once we're at that frame, we're going to have our cursor in the center of the screen, and we're going to type W, and let's type type, and then you can click select by type, and we're going to click font, and that'll select all the text objects. Now that we've got all the text objects selected, let's type Control L and select fonts, and this will link all of the fonts. So all the text objects in your scene will have the same font. So let's click fonts, and you can see now all the fonts are Chivo Black. So let's rewind through here, and it's looking pretty good. So one thing we can also do is we can right click on this text object here, and we can go back into the material section, scroll through here, and we can change the color of the text, and this will change the color for most of the text objects. So you can just click this box and click around the color circle here, the hue circle, and you can just fast forward through here and see. And let's right click on this text object here, and let's change the color to something similar. So now most of our text objects colors have changed. Alright, so now we've pretty much got how to edit the fonts and the media. So now let's just choose an output for our video. So basically we want to select a folder on our computer for Blender to render this out to as a video. So in this section here, you want to click this folder, and this is very important. You've got to choose a folder on your computer so that Blender doesn't give you an error message. So you want to just enter your video's name, the name you want the video to have, and choose a folder on your computer. So it can be your desktop or your documents, and you can click accept and then click render animation, and Blender will render this out, and you can see it'll show the progress in this section here. Basically, once it's done rendering frame 552, your video is completely finished and in the folder that you chose. So if you're interested in more Blender templates and seeing some more cool effects in these Blender templates, you can subscribe to the Skyway Visuals YouTube channel. You can also check out Skyway's Gumroad, and I'll be soon getting a Blender Market page for this channel. So also you can check out some of the links in the description for some more relevant Blender content, and follow us on Twitter using this card here. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy the template, and subscribe and follow Skyway Visuals on Twitter to stay tuned for more Blender content.